Good evening, sir.
Namaste everyone. Good evening. You can hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Hello, sir.
we'll wait for a minute. Others are joining. Okay. We'll say the prayer. हमें अपने मन को हमेशा संतुलित रखना है. इसी में हमारा आत्म विकास समाया हुआ है. त्वयि में सर्वं ओम ओम ओम. आत्मनि में त्वं ओम ओम ओम. स्मारे स्मारे ओम ओम ओम. चित्तं शामे शामे ओम. स्मराणि सोऽहं ओम ओम ओम. शान्तं चिन्मयम् ओम माम् ओम. तटस्थं केवलम् ओम ओम ओम. स्मराणि शुद्धम् ओम माम् ओम. Okay. So we move on to the next sutra, Sutra 24. As I was telling you last time, there are two sutras which are dealing with strength, Bala. So previous sutra we saw Maitri Adishu Balani. So by doing Samyama on the feelings of Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, respective Bala or strength is gained. So that was more like a psychological mental strength, and a lot of importance given to Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, as I was telling you in Buddhism also. And a lot of research has been done. What happens when a person is really practicing these kind of Maitri Bhavana, Karuna Bhavana, and scientific research is also available. Now, today we are going to the sutra which is saying Baleshu Hasti Baladini. What does it mean? By practicing Samyama on physical strength, the strength of elephants, etc., can be acquired. तो बल पर संयम करने से हाथी जैसी शक्ति, हाथी जैसा बल प्राप्त किया जा सकता है. That is what it says. So earlier sutra was talking about mental strength, psychological strength. Here it is talking about physical strength. But one has to understand that physical strength also requires a lot of mental strength. Without mental strength, physical strength doesn't work. So both go hand in hand. Perhaps that is why Patanjali has given two sutras dealing with Bala, one after another, highlighting the aspect of psychological Bala as well as the strength of the body, the physical body. So now when we look at this sutra, various methods are there by which Bala can be attained. We have seen that. We are living in a world where body is considered to be everything. And in fact, the yoga also, more physical yoga is being practiced nowadays. Asanas are equated to yoga. So mainly yoga is dealing with the body as per the modern yoga practitioners, and their entire focus is on the body. So it is disease management, or strength gaining, or flexibility, or performance, or skill developing. So here we have to understand that various methods are there for developing the physical strength. And if we look at the various kinds of things which are, and since ancient time, Bala is the concept with which humanity has been really, obsessed with. So various methods of increasing physical strength have been developed. So we have different kind of exercises which are there. You know, various kinds of exercises are there, and so many types of exercises are there. If we look at the various countries, each country, each region of the world, they have got own method of developing physical strength. So traditional method in India, for example, we know that in India, if they want strength, there are two things. The akhadas were there, so they will go and they will perform lots of physical exercises, but mainly these exercises will be of kind of danda, baithak, mudgal, and breathing exercises, and what they call zor. Two people, three people, they will just resist each other. They will fight with each other, which is known as kusti. So kusti was the traditional method in which in India they developed the physical strength. And then we have the various kinds of that information is available, that people, like we used to watch movies of Dara Singh, because Dara Singh was the epitome of strength. In our childhood, Dara Singh was the epitome of strength. So when we were watching Dara Singh's movie, we will be looking at, there was a fighter known as King Kong, and in India there was Gama Pahalwan. So a lot of in my childhood, I have witnessed so many these fights of Pahalwans. So this was the method by which they developed. Malkham was there, some other exercises were there. So that was, and when we look at the Western world, there again the exercises are there, the pull-ups are there, the push-ups are there, and this way, a person was able to perform even 300, 400 sit-ups at one go. That kind of strength they had. And when we look at their diet, they will be eating, what we'll be eating in a 1 week, they will eat only in 1 day. That kind of food they were eating. So various methods were developed by doing these or developing these exercises. And when we talk about this sutra, it is talking about strength of elephant. Now, strength of elephant, why elephant has been used? Because perhaps that has got to do with the geography. Because in India, the most powerful, or most balshali, the animal with the great strength was elephant. So all over India, elephants were found. That's why Indian thinkers have been obsessed with the elephant strength, and that's why. But when you go to Europe, no elephant is there. So what they talk about, from where, how they compare the strength, horsepower. So in science, you will find they talk in terms of horsepower. So a machine has got power. How much power? 5 horsepower, 10 horsepower, 100 horsepower. So these were the standards set by various people in the society to denote the strength of a particular creature, and trying to gain that kind of strength. So that is kind of practices which were there. And normally we will find that tapa is a very, very important technique which was used for acquiring this bala. And tapa is still used in all parts of the world for gaining strength. So tapa is a very, very important factor when we talk about the physical strength. So when we look at, very nowadays TV programs have become very, strange. Earlier TV programs were simple, and there used to be programs like Ripley's Believe It or Not. If I am sure almost all of you must have seen, please believe it or not. So in that you will find, very extraordinary kind of physical feats being performed by the people. So how did they really develop it? That if we think about it, then perhaps we will get a clue how to gain physical strength and how really we can develop it. So in Replis, believe it or not, there will be feats like, person pulling the truck tight with a rope to his hair. So he had so much strength in the hair that with the help of hair tied to rope and truck, he will be able to pull the truck. That kind of strength was, which is a supernormal feat actually. Ordinary human cannot perform it. But there are recorded cases of this kind, and their videos are captured and videos were shown. Similarly, pulling a train with wagon train. Train wagon is very heavy, although it is on the rules, but then pulling the wagon with the strength of teeth. So they will hold something in the mouth and they'll pull the wagon. Now this kind of feat is there. Or even tying a rope to the body and pulling the entire engine. That kind of strength was also demonstrated many a times. Some people will keep a plank. Often we used to see, I don't know about you, but I have seen very often in circus, there were people who will put a plank on the chest, and elephant will walk on them. So this was a very common sight in now all governments all over the world, they have banned the animals in circus. So these kind of feats are not seen nowadays. But earlier these kind of feats were also very easily seen in circus. And this, as I told you, please believe it or not, so many extraordinary feats are there. So many extraordinary. We can just go on talking about it. And then we go to this important aspect which is involved here. How does this strength develop? What is it? So here what sutra is saying, that all these methods which I mentioned just now, there are so many, we can go in the detail of so many others also, but these are just examples which I gave. Now in every such kind of effort, the ultimate pinnacle, the ultimate effort which is there to gain physical strength is the Samyama on the Bala. When Samyama is done on the Bala, automatically one gets the physical power. That is what is the contention of Sutra. So here we are trying to understand this principle of how the mind is really playing a role. So mental involvement is definitely there. A psychological factor is definitely involved here. So we have to understand that. So for understanding that, we have to say this commentator, as per the commentator, Samyama on the physical strength is the highest form of effort in gaining physical strength. Mind plays a very important role here. So the psychological principle which is involved here is the total focus on the strength. Whatever one focuses on, one is strengthening that. So that is the psychological principle which is involved here. We will understand this simple thing. Now this is very important aspect we have to understand. Even when we are physically weak, if our minds are strong and mind is able to focus on the physical strength, we can acquire a lot of physical strength by merely focusing on the idea of strength. This should not be really a surprise. I'll give you an example, which since many years, I've been thinking about that, and I often use that example. There was a case which was recorded. They were laborers. You nowadays you'll not find it because now machinery has come. But many of you belonging to India must have seen that when roads were laid down, then there'll be a team of workers working beside the road. Trucks will come with big boulders. They will be putting these boulders at the sides of the roads, and there will be laborers who will be breaking those stones in small pieces so they can be used by the machines to cover the road. So big boulders will be brought and they will be broken into small pieces by the roadside. So there was this team of workers, laborers. They were working, and It was, afternoon time, and a lady was working there, and a lady had an infant, a small child. She had brought that child to the work site. That was also again a very, very common sight. You will be surprised. Today we will say that it is a very bad thing, but then it was a common sight. The laborer women will bring their children, and children will be playing around here and there. Still, you can find in many rural areas of India, people working and their children are playing just around them. So this she brought an infant, and she was breaking the stones, and her son, or the child, she kept under a tree in the shade, and it was near the road. So suddenly, while breaking the stone, she saw that a truck was rolling down towards the child. There was a slope, and there was a truck which was empty, but then had not applied brake or something happened. The truck was rolling towards the child. Now this woman, she stopped, she shouted and she ran towards the truck, and she could stop that truck before it could reach the child. Now imagine that, how big the truck is, and particularly the trucks which are carrying stones, how strong they are, how big they are. She was able to stop that truck barely with her hands. That was the kind of strength. Now, when you look at the physical side of that person, laborer, as it is, their diets are very poor, and they age prematurely, they die prematurely because they don't get the nourishment. With such a weak body, she was able to stop the truck. How did she do it? It was a great feat of physical strength. From where the strength came? So one has to think about it, because we also need physical strength many times. So it is necessary that we think about it. Are we lacking in this physical strength? Are we sometimes wanting this physical strength? So at that time, if we remember these kind of instances or this kind of principle, the mind plays a crucial role here. The emotions play a very crucial role. Maybe the fear, maybe the desire to save the child, it gave her a supernormal strength. So this can be called only supernormal strength. It was not a normal strength. So that is one example. And there are several examples you'll find. In India, Bala is very important concept. So the epitome or the most representative god of Bala is Hanuman. We all know that anybody who's seeking physical strength, he will be a normally worshipper of Hanuman, Bajrangbali. So Lord Hanuman. And in every village, particularly in Maharashtra, I don't know about other parts, but in Maharashtra, it at the outskirts of the village, there will be a temple of Hanuman, and youth will be collecting together, and there will be akhadas, and they will be doing a lot of physical exercises to gain strength, and for them Hanuman is the epitome of strength. So but then the talking about the psychological principle, one story which is from Ramayana, it comes to mind that when Rama wanted to search Sita and he met Sugriv, Sugriv assigned this job to some of the Vanaras, and the Jamvanta, that bear and other animals were also there. So when they reached the seashore, everybody was worried. They knew that they have to cross the sea. So everybody was worried how this can be done. And then Jambanta was there in Mahabharata, in Ramayana. That character is there, very wise, person. So he said that so and so is. Earlier I was very strong, but now I can't do it. Others also said that now I can't do it. I can't fly. I can't go. And then they suddenly remembered that Hanuman was with them. So, but Hanuman also was keeping quiet, because Hanuman has forgotten about his power. He has the strength, he has the Bala, but he doesn't remember. So he was reminded of the Bala, and immediately, as soon as he was reminded, he recalled that how strong he was. The moment he started recalling that how strong he was, immediately he gained the strength. And then the description which is there, it is a very surprising description. Immediately he jumped, and then he was able to cross the ocean, and he was able to reach Lanka. So that kind of strength was demonstrated by Hanuman. So these are the instances. Now, you see this psychological principle, the time is too short. So I will just read doctor's two important paras here, which are dealing with this particular aspect. The theory is that chitta, when continuously unstable, grasps only some aspects of an object. However, when it is observing an object continuously, it fluctuates from the focus to the margin in the beginning, but later, when the same state is maintained without distraction, then chitta reaches dhyana state. In this state, there is no other thought except the object of concentration. It is as though the chitta has become the object. This individual becomes the object of concentration if the object of the mind can thus be trained to perform unusual things. So this is what is happening in Samyama. Bala is the object of concentration. When you are thinking of Bala, automatically the Bala increases. And we have to also think that whenever weak thoughts are there, we become weak. Although we have all the strength, but we feel weak and we become weak. So it is all the mind which is playing a very important role. So this is one aspect of it. And then other is that, can one get strength of the object of concentration? In a way, Patanjali presents us a very prudent psychological scientific thought. If you want positive feeling and strength, have object that inspires these qualities. Here the word is not physical strength. Ultimately, all physical strength is psychological strength. So what Dr. Jaydev says, ultimately all physical strength is psychological strength, allowing the mind to be filled with noble types of emotions, here concentrating on the gross thing and its characteristics. For example, an elephant and its strength affect the mind in a way that the person concentrating becomes like that thing and so gains strength. This psychological principle of influencing one's mind is being referred to here. If we go to the spirit, these three sutras talk about relationship between the cause and effect. So this is the principle which has been laid down. Now here we have to understand why Patanjali has devoted two sutras when he was very conservative in use of word. Perhaps one of the reason is in yoga we required lot of bala. In yoga, without bala we cannot succeed. Even for carrying out day-to-day routines of sadhana, deciding to do meditation, doing asanas every day, it requires lot of strength. Sustained effort is required. So here bala is sustained effort. That's why one of the old Shrutis from Upanishad, it says, Nayam Atma Balahinen Labhya. Yoga cannot be attained, or Atma Sakshatkar, self-realization cannot be attained by a weak person. In Mahabharata also it is stated when they are talking about yogis, they say that yogis are having so much strength that they can break all the barriers which are binding them, which are holding them back. So they require tremendous strength. That is what is stated. So yogis are really powerful. And to sustain the effort to keep the mind steady, to control the senses, impulses, moods, negative emotions, all require tremendous strength. So when one is, now you see we have to take what we have to really take from this sutra is that often we will find ourselves weak. Sometimes we may feel that we don't have sufficient strength. That is the time we should recall this principle and thinking of Bala, thinking that we have all the power, we have all the strength, we have all the strength to carry on. If we can focus like this and have this positive thought, have this positive focus, then we can get a lot of strength in challenging situations and difficulties. That is what Sutra says. There are many details, but then I'm sharing one video with you. Just see that video, around 30 feet have been given. Just think how these people might have developed these extraordinary capacities, which are there in the group. I will share the video. You can have, leisurely you can have, and the question answer we can have in the group. If there are any doubts, we can discuss. Quickly, if there are any questions, we can.
Sir, this question is about the last sutra. We said by doing Samyama on Maitri, Karuna and Mudita.
Yeah.
But there is one sentence that why you should not do Samyama on Upeksha.
Yeah.
That point, just can you explain?
Yes, yes. So upeksha is not actually a feeling. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, these are the feelings. They fall under the category of emotions and feelings. Whereas upeksha is a deliberate act of ignoring. Yeah, we are not creating any feeling there. We are just trying to ignore the evil things which are there. That is why mudita, this upeksha has been, not mentioned there.
When talking about physical strength, uh, what came to my mind is it may not be just a person can lift weights or a person can stop the truck. It can also mean stamina to work for long hours without
Yeah,
getting
precisely,
tired.
precisely. That is what it means.
Yeah.
Everyday yoga practice is a Herculean task. Every day sustaining the effort required for yoga practices, controlling the senses, controlling the impulses, controlling the negative emotions, it requires tremendous strength. So that is where that is what is yoga bala. सतत प्रयास का जो अभ्यास का जो बल है वो हमको कहाँ से मिलता है? उसके लिए फिजिकल स्ट्रेंथ भी चाहिए, मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ भी, दोनों चाहिए. बोथ आर नीडेड. So precisely that is the point this sutra is trying to convey.
Can you comment about the strength of Hanuman? Because he had the capacity to expand himself and contract himself, and he's also known to have carried Meru Parvat and all that,
Yeah. Yeah. But then because he was very naughty, he was told that he will forget about his strength. So when did he gain strength? When he thought that he's strong. When he thought that he has got strength, then only he got the strength. Otherwise, he was like a normal monkey sitting there at the seashore and wondering what is going to happen now. He was also in lot of worry how he is going to, serve his master Ram. But when Jamwant reminded, "Arey, you are so strong, you can do everything," then he remembered that he has got the strength. And when he remembered, when his mind was accepting, then only the strength came. Otherwise, he had all the strength, but he was like sitting like a weak person.
So I was just incidentally reading this book called The Mountain is You.
Yeah.
And it's really about our psychology.
Yeah.
And, it talks about the same thing. I think modern psychologists also talk about, we live in a bubble right now where we want everything to be, anything that we want to achieve should be comforting, should be easy to achieve,
Yeah.
and fast. It should be easy to grasp and really fast. But they're saying that, anything that you want to achieve or any goal that you have requires not one big thing, but small micro things that you do every single day.
Yeah.
Which is what I think difficulty is. Tapa is building that stamina, psychological stamina to put in the effort even when you don't feel like doing it every single day, no matter how mundane it can get. So is that also strength?
Yes, that will also form part of that effort, that sustained effort, because without sustained effort, nothing is possible. And sustained effort will require strength. Every day working little, gradually it can produce great results.